Very good, friends. Hi, Doc South here. Yet another little video. This one, I just thought, I thought maybe what I should do is well, I've been doing the taxes, getting everything, ready for the accountant, and um, you got to do that every year, and I got to looking at things, and I thought, I just like you report to the government, your money and stuff, and what you're doing and all that. I'm sure they use the data for all sorts of programs. Um, and you got to pay taxes. That's just how it is. If you like going to school, riding down the highway, well, all that costs money. And I thought, well, I thought I'd give a bit of a report on what the station's what I'm trying to do with the various efforts I'm putting out, little financial report, etc. No, nothing too boring, I would think, but mostly the big thing is I still believe back, maybe 30, 40 years ago, I was very close to saying, I'm just going to be a paramedic and that's it. I didn't follow through. I perhaps should have. Financially, I probably would have been better off, but I decided that, and I swear this is true. That's why my air name is Doc, not so much the rescue part, but the idea that a lot of the calls that we would go to with an ambulance crew were done because people just weren't happy. They were unhappy about this or that. They started drinking. They got into a fight. Next thing you know, they're whipping out the knives, shooting each other, big fist fight, whatever. Or they needed some substance to make them feel, human. And next thing you know, they're driving down the road stoned. And it's just, I've been there, done that myself. And it's a dead end street. And I got to thinking that, I don't know. I guess one day this could have been the scenario. I know it always crossed my mind. There may have been a day where I was heading down through the night, perhaps after dropping my kids off with their mom, heading back to my life without them. And it'd be at nighttime, be riding down the highway listening to the radio, and the DJs back then were. Well, they were entertaining, and they had these great tunes. And I don't know, next thing you know, you're feeling pretty good. Where you were blue, now you weren't. Okay, and so that's sort of what I'm trying to do. I've also noticed that there's a lot of good in the world, and it's not getting mentioned that well. And so that's what I've been trying to do with the station and the writing I do. I keep like a slip of paper like this, a couple of them usually in or sale tickets like this from the supermarket. When they're done with them, I don't take them while they're using them, while they're displaying an item. What is this? Oh, Kleenex facial tissue, $4.99, while supplies last. I guess it was a big box. Had to be. But I keep those, and if I notice something of a positive nature, I write it down, and then I try to write a blurb. Okay. And then I post the blurbs on my website, or I eventually, if I get the money up, I knock them into a book, or tell the story on my webcast. So, and I also know that music has a way of making people forget their troubles. So I operate my station. It runs 24/7, featuring what I thought was pretty happy, decent, nostalgic music from the 20s through the 70s. I find that's a good thing. And I do notice that people just seem to be a little more negative and ready to argue and disown people because they believe one way or another, different skin color, different attitude towards one thing or another. It just isn't how we should be. So I'm kind of for people, understanding and getting along with one another and noting the good world we've been given, because there's a lot of good, but it gets missed. It gets missed, and I can sort of see that. If a guy's ready to punch you in the nose, you don't really notice the the Salvation Army band playing some tunes for Christmas out on the sidewalk. Yeah, it's just, yeah. So, but I do try to bring all that to people's attention with what I do. The books, the webcasts, the station itself, just day-to-day life. I try to go out, and you should do this too. You go out and try to, find two or three things about people that you could actually mention to, just mention to them how cool it is what they're doing. Yeah, or some kind word wouldn't kill you. And frankly, I think more of that going on, the better, the better. Anyway, so, and also me, I go out, I don't always succeed, but I try to find some way to do like a secret good deed every day, even if it's just picking up some litter around where I'm parking my car, just something. And you'd be surprised how, if everyone did that, how things would get better. Anyway, and I've got the YouTube thing now where I'm reading excerpts from my books, which are always of a positive nature, and also little things I've noticed. Again, much like the blurbs I write. Okay. Well, okay. Now the thing is all that costs money to do, and I'm afraid I'm not made of greenbacks, and so I can always use donations. For instance, to publish a book like Aunt Barb's Magic Oven, that was about $1,500 to get about 200 copies, and that was actually a very cheap price. To do one, I don't see a copy of it right now, but like my first book, the Book of Doc Blurps, the starter set, gosh, that was $3 or $4 grand. I had it done a little more professionally. You can and then it's very hard. I can tell you this: if you're going to do a self-published book, don't count on it being a whirlwind thing for you. You'll wind up giving a lot of books away, which is fine. I give away probably at least 50 books, maybe more, each year to those less fortunate, those who look like maybe they could use a book or they can use it to good purpose, whatever. I have my various reasons for doing it. It's not like, oh, I see a hot chick and I say, here's a book, maybe. No. But I like to just do what I can to help. And the station, the internet station, if I look it up, I probably spend, oh my gosh, I probably, I probably between writing and, writing and webcasting, I probably spend a good 150 hours a month, maybe more. Certainly the equivalent of, it's got to be that much, putting all this together. When I'm not at work, I'm doing this, it seems. And I do it, again, to make to my little small way of trying to make the world a better place. I would say the station, just the station. Let's see, I'm just adding it up here. It looks like a little somewhere between $150 and $200 a month to operate the station. By the time you get a hotspot, so you get proper data flow, so the station doesn't cut out. Yeah, okay. And then you got to pay royalties for the songs. It wouldn't be right to play the songs and not compensate the guy who did the song and wrote it. Maybe they deserve something. I doubt they get very much from my station, but still, I guess it adds up. If nothing else, they get a check and they say, hey, that old song I did 50 years ago, people are still liking it. Cool. Webcasting is, again, the web station is about 30. The website, by the way, someone's helping me with the website. They did it and have been footing the bill, but, I've got to kind of take that over. I don't know if it's been done yet or not. I don't honestly know how. Getting people in to work on my computer. The computer itself, again, costs money. The equipment. I run on a minimum of equipment. I don't need the world's greatest mixing board because, frankly, a regular mixing board sounds just fine with oldies. But still, equipment good three or 400 a month by the time you're done. A CD player won't last forever. Turntables sometimes give up or they need needles. You get the idea. The YouTube site, gosh, that's something that's about $60 a month for data by the time you're all said and done, give or take, but that's about what it is. And I'm and in a way, it's kind of an addiction because, frankly, I feel kind of funny if I don't do a show or if I don't add to my webcast site. Plus, you got to get the records and all that too. That costs loot as well. A lot of my stuff I get cheap enough. Sandy keeps an eye peeled at flea markets and brings home some mighty nice CDs for me. And God knows there's enough records in the basement. Could be playing them for a long time. But you see what I'm saying. I like to share the history of music with people. Frankly, a lot of what's popular now, I think the older music beats it in sheer just as far as talent goes. But, well, what are you going to do? People's taste. People thought the same thing of doo-wop when it came out. Oh, that awful doo-wop. You watch 50 years from now, there'll be some DJ like me doing heaven knows what kind of webcast, talking about the good old days of the early 20s, the early 2000s. Boy, what great music we had. The kids nowadays don't know. Yeah, but that kind of thing goes on forever. But still, I do think that music of the past was pretty good stuff. And so what I'm saying is I can use donations. One thing I've got going is my YouTube site, and I've built that, and I'm adding videos to it like crazy because if you get enough hits on YouTube, people will, they pay you, and that might be enough to handle everything. I figure the station's good for about, that costs easily about $200 a month, which is about 200 more than I got. Books, again, 1,000 or so at least, and more like 2,000 to get a number of get a book printed and get enough copies. There's YouTube 60 or so. It does have an awful way of adding up, and it's making things kind of tough. And there are times with the station when honestly I've got no one listening. I'll be doing a show to no one, but that's all right. I figure someone might just tune in and dig the scene. If nothing else, the shows are being done and saved, archived, so that future generations can listen to them if need be. But again, all that costs money, money I don't have. So again, if you can keep an eye on the YouTube's videos, and I don't say listen to them all. They aren't all that good. Some of them are. But share them, let people know, and let people know about the station. Now, if you care to, you can get to my YouTube and my station by going to, you can go to www.docsouthshow.com, and you'll see links to the YouTube, links to the station, links to my GoFundMe page. I can always use out and out donations too, and it doesn't have to be a lot. If everybody donates a bit, it sure does help. I'm kind of excited that the YouTube thing might generate enough that I can handle the station once we get enough videos in there and enough of them being seen on a regular basis. Like I said, and heaven knows if I can get a viral one, cool. That'd pretty much do it. And we'd be in good shape for all this. Again, not looking to be rich, but it would be nice to have a little bit more so I can pay my own personal bills. Because right now, the money comes out of that to do the station. But if you can help, good. If you can't, hey, at least tell your friends about the station. The more people listening, honestly, the better. If nothing else, I try never to, I might goof sometimes, but I try never to do a negative show or have a negative comment. And it's, I'm out there to, get people through the night. Okay. So I just thought I'd say, again, you can always contact me by email, docsouthshow@yahoo.com. I'm on Facebook, Doc South on Facebook, and there you are. And again, the website, links you to a lot of the various services. That'd be www.docsouthshow.com. Yeah. Oh, I hope that's the right. Watch all this. I gave you the wrong one. No, I don't think so. I think we're okay. All right. So there you go. I just thought I'd say, and I can always use your help. I intend to keep going, but it does get tough at times. It really does. Okay. So there you go. We'll see you later, friends. Thank you, and God bless. Oh, and treat each other kindly. Okay. All right.